He resigned as Secretary General. You see him on many different platforms, and he can probably explain this himself. Welcome, Taleb Rifai. Dr. Taleb Rifai.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jürgen. You're always a good friend. Thank you, everybody. I'm happy to see all of you here. I'm Taleb Rifai. I used to be Secretary General of UNWTO, speaking to you from Amman in Jordan, the Middle East, the small little country that now is doing a lot to combat coronavirus. Now, I have been very instrumental in putting together what we call the HOPE project, which is the basis for all of this. The HOPE project is a project that was designed for Africa, but now it can extend itself to the whole world. Now, this project, I'm going to take just a few minutes, as Jürgen allowed me to, just to sum it up a bit and talk a little bit about how we see the situation. I see that there are two phases to the crisis now: containment phase and the recovery phase. Containment phase, we're all in, and many governments, many countries have dealt with it very successfully. It's a phase that really wants to put a limit and a tap on the medical part of the crisis. It costs a lot. Many people are still engaged in it, will continue to be part of it. But the second phase is more important, even it's the recovery phase. And in this recovery phase, we need to now move from the containment phase to the recovery phase. In the recovery phase, we're faced with realities. These realities are very tough. They're very clear. We have unemployment, economic downturn, size of which is not clear to us at all. Travel and tourism is in the heart of this. Travel and tourism today is probably the hardest hit amongst all the other sectors. There is no tourism if there is no travel. Travel has come to a complete halt. Now that's why very, very important now to look at what we can do. I've devised 4 major pillars. I want to suggest them to you now that could bring us back, because the recovery of the entire economy is more important than the recovery of our sector. Sector will not recover if the economy does not recover all in all. But number 1 is, when it comes to our sector, I think we should emphasize a little bit more on domestic tourism now. Domestic tourism is something we start with immediately, because you don't need to fly from long distances to come to any place to do your tourism. Now, in addition to the fact that we're doing this not because it's the only thing that the crisis can take, it's the right thing to do anyhow. You know, I believe that there is no country that has the right or the pleasure of inviting any visitors from outside if the people of the country don't enjoy the country first. So it's a matter of principle to us. We should encourage domestic tourism no matter what. But this is an opportunity for us. We can share this crisis as an opportunity to put it back on track. Many of us have not, especially in developing countries, Africa is part of it, and many of the developing countries we represent here have not paid any attention to domestic tourism. Now, this has created a very tense situation between the locals and the foreigners that come from outside. No country is allowed to be enjoyed by foreigners if it's not enjoyed. Its own people first. It's something I believe in. Now, domestic tourism is very important now, although it does not bring in hard currency and does not contribute to the balance of trade, but it does keep the facilities open, it does create jobs. So it's important to keep it. The second point is digital technology. Digital technology has proven to be the main pillar of the post-corona era. Digital technology now is becoming, everything is from home. We're beginning to design things from far away. Even weddings, I have attended the wedding here where the priest was on one line. The bride and the groom were all in different parts of the world, and they got married from home. Now we have concerts from home. Everything is going to be from home. We have to start thinking outside of the box. And this is something very, very important, because the future of tourism is going to be centered around the digital technology. Number 3 is training and rehabilitation, because training now, our new post-corona era is going to be a completely different era from the one before. We need to re-qualify our staff. Restaurants will have to start, instead of training their waiters, to train people that make packing, home delivery, so on and so forth. Hotels will have to train people how to become more sanitized, how to become more clean. People are going to compete with each other on that regard. Fourth, last but not least, is the economic revitalization. Every country must allocate a certain amount of money to be put into trying to revise their economy, put money in the hands of people. In crisis, you don't make it tight on people. You put money in the hands of people. You encourage spending. Spending is very, very important. Now, I don't want to talk much about it, but if there is a chance, we could in the future, in the coming minutes or hours, discuss this further on. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is special arrangements. It can be done immediately now. For example, the concept of corona-free zone, not necessarily 100% free, but you should start thinking of how can we create an area where people would come here, feel more secure. From the minute they leave their homes to the minute they go back to their homes, destinations must start thinking about this. There's certain hotels, certain areas, certain districts, certain beaches, an area that has a geographic limitation. Because today, these protocols are going to be very important. The last thing I want to talk about is certification. You can't have any protocol if there is nobody for certification. These are guarantees and these are terms we're going to be using and seeing a lot of in the future. I'm going to stop at this point, Jürgen. Maybe if there's any other thing, you can add on to as we go along. Thank you so much, Jürgen.
Thank you.